like the label on this or whatever, but maybe after I'm done. But I'm still thinking about the micro macro of this property poaching situation. And by the by, one of the food box people were like extra generous today. I got like a bag of cherries and like a bunch of fruit. It's like very generous and some like new clothes. It's like kind of big guy clothes, but we'll see who wants it. And a and a pair of panties. They just don't know the degree that I got out of jail, and all I have is my one pair of panties. Anyway, so I've been thinking about the micro macro in this, and I guess I'm really wondering if they're like maybe testing the waters in Portland. Of course, I have no idea if they're doing this to any other property, really. Um, but I'm kind of wondering if they're testing the waters in Portland as if perhaps some level of the elite sense that we're going to be having this earthquake also. I mean, I can't be like the only psychic unless they could plan it. Planet Earth, right? But well, because in an earthquake, it would be really easy to execute people. Not to freak anybody out, but that would be like a really easy time to go in and swoop up some fee simple. And in case anybody's wondering, they wouldn't. Not that they couldn't take over a mortgaged property, but then you can't expose any secrets about getting out of a mortgage. Obviously, you don't really want to just be doing that willy nilly, and then you can't really steal the identity of the mortgagee because then the bank that holds the mortgage would still always have a claim against you if they discovered that you were even, writing a freaking money order right fraudulently as the mortgage. Because of course, the lien holder and the mortgager will take any excuse they ever can to just take their house back after somebody's been paying for how many years, obviously. That's like a no-brainer. But then I also worry about that kind of stuff with people that go to jail. Because on the one hand, I'm like, if you got notes going out, then, the state can't really deprive your note holders unless they can just repo your car and write off the debt. So privately held debt is probably safer. But then I wonder, like, if there would be like a whole conspiracy against mortgagees anyway to just throw them in jail and take their properties back. I mean, imagine somebody that's been paying down like, $500,000 house for 25 years and they're like almost there and then they go to jail, right? Like that, and they just foreclose and that would suck, right? That would suck anyway. Like not really think that those things are possible because right now I just have people like Skype at a freehold. But here's the thing: in martial law, right? In a state of emergency, especially something that's already fee simple, if that person were to have abandoned by taking some errant advice to get out of the city, and then their property is abandoned, all those properties would turn into freeholds too. Now I don't know exactly how long it would need to be abandoned, but remember the Bible does say, um, "He who tries to flee does not escape," and then your home has to be a perfectly safe refuge and stand your ground. So there's three big ones advising people to stay put. So it's just not really lost on my conspiratorial paranoid mind that one of the biggest pieces of prepper sort of wisdom is this like 72-hour get out of Dodge idea. And at this point, that seems like a really bad idea to me. No, you want to stand your ground because it's your home and it has to be the perfectly safe refuge. Definitely would not want to abandon. And he who tries to flee does not escape. But on the he who tries to flee does not escape thing almost makes me think that like there would be some other kind of conspiracy for the people that do flee their homes in some kind of a state of emergency. That they really would not get out of town. So I don't know how to spread the word to all the preppers to sit still. I don't know. because it's like the people make their bug out bags where they put all this stuff they need to like leave. And it's like I never really bought into that because it was always like, where would I go? And it was always just be me anyway. Or when I had my family, I was like, I'm not about to take Penny out to like nowhere. I mean, I guess if you already have some kind of sweet cabin, you don't really mind losing your city house. But there's a lot of people that would just be like chilling in the freaking woods. Like, how would you ever think that's safer than your house? But anyway, so I've been thinking about the micro macro, and then I keep thinking about the earthquake. And I used to have this idea in my head that some of the upper echelons did in fact know that there was going to be an earthquake, and they did in fact know that if you wanted to do the free for all for the property, you had to be here, and that's kind of how they made it fair. So it's like if you find the right place to be and you make it through and you survive the earthquake, then it's like you're free for all, whatever. But I don't know. But either way, there's definitely a micro macro message in this. I just know it. And so I don't know if it's just a local Portland thing, but then the local Portland thing could also be a micro to a larger macro on a national or global scale. Remember, I did have it in my head that there are space tycoons that want to turn the planet into an oasis in the sky. And I think at that point, I don't know, it's like, because all these ideas of scouting other planets, it's like we have to be like, probably like giving up on our planet. So we definitively need to not give up on our planet. And I was just reading something in Deuteronomy that said something like, what was it? It's like, when you draw near to a city to fight against it, offer terms of peace to it. And if it responds to you peaceably and it opens to you, then all the people who are found in it shall do forced labor for you and shall serve you. But if it makes no peace with you, but makes war against you, then you shall besiege it. And when the Lord your God gives it into your hand, you shall put all its males to the sword. Now, I don't like all of Deuteronomy 20, okay? But that one kind of got more on my mind of the micro macro. And what would happen if there was some kind of like invasion? Because when you draw near to fight, you have to offer peace to it when you draw near to it. So if we respond peaceably to somebody coming near, then it says they will do forced labor for you and shall serve you. But if it doesn't make peace, then we have to go to war. So I'm wondering, like, what if there was like alien invasion then? Because like even the government, even Trump seems to have aliens on the mind, man. So what if there was some kind of alien invasion then? What if? And they're like, we come in peace, and it's like, we can't just like let you guys invade us under the guise of peace, apparently. And let's think about that on like my micro scale. It's like when I felt like my brain was being invaded by aliens, I definitely, well, at first I was like a peaceful, I don't know. That's only Deuteronomy, so that's early, so, I'm gonna think about that. It definitely feels like I always had to be like the upper hand of control of everything. That's another Rida lesson. Definitely feels like I definitely had to be always in control of the situation. So whether or not that translates to peace or not, I don't know. It's kind of a tricky passage though, because it talks about like you can't cut down trees because they're not human. And what does that mean? Anyway, the micro macro of property poaching. I need answers on micro macro property poaching.